everybody. Welcome to the Vietnamese Coffee Shop. This is Carter here with
Jimmy.
Jimmy Boy. Not Jimmy Boy, but you know. Yeah, we just wanted to get into why is it cool nowadays that people say
You know what? Why don't we start off by how you been? It's been a while,
yeah,
right? We haven't seen each other for a full month now because Mr. Carter here caught COVID for the very first time.
yeah, I got COVID. Yeah, that's why we canceled our last show
Yeah.
actually.
How was that? This is your first time, I believe, that you caught COVID.
Yeah, man, it's still floating around, so shit, they got me to kind of going back to masking up everywhere now because my wife is pregnant. So I'm trying to be more.
Oh yeah, and
Aware
how
of
was
that.
that when she found out you had COVID?
Oh yeah, she left me instantly. She dipped up out the house quick.
I
She
mean,
was gone.
did you ask her to leave or she volunteered to leave? Or how did that go?
And I
about?
was just like, yeah, she gotta go. So she left. She stayed at a friend's house. So that was nice to walk around butt naked.
You were home by
well,
yourself the
even
whole
if
time.
she-
Just how long were you by yourself?
I would say a week. A week. I think she came back home like 5 days. I was actually sick for exactly 1 week, and then I was negative. So the symptoms was, all the normal symptoms except for like I still had appetite. My taste was still there, so I was
Oh, you could still sense
eating.
the smell still there and everything.
Yeah, all my senses was on point. Yeah. I was just a little fatigued. The first day felt hot, kind of like a fever. Second day was cool, it was better. It kind of went away. I just had like a cough and runny nose, some phlegm. But yeah,
No, a lot of people they see the negative in catching COVID. Did you find anything that was good that came out of it?
I guess my immune system should be better now since I caught it and fought it off. So it should build, right? I mean, that's a positive, I would say. Unfortunately, some didn't make it from it. I mean, my uncle, R.I.P. to him, he actually just passed too.
Oh man, I'm sorry to hear that.
So after COVID, I flew down to OC.
Oh yeah, this was just this past week. Somebody passed away recently in your family.
Yeah. So my uncle, my dad's like cousin on my grandma's side, but yeah, we grew up with them like since we was babies. We was always going down there, hanging out with the family and them. So that's my fam for sure. That's one of my favorite uncles, and R.I.P. to him, man.
My condolences, man. What happened?
Shit. I really don't know, to be honest. I know he had like a heart attack maybe, and he crashed, and then lucky bystander saw him, pulled him out, gave him CPR.
We're talking about in the car.
Yeah, he crashed, got a heart attack, crashed. I guess he kind of died. His heart stopped or something because supposedly the story was innocent bystander saw him crash, came out to help him and pulled him out, gave him CPR. Only reason you give someone CPR is because their heart stops, right? I would think.
He had a cardiac arrest. Yeah.
Yeah, so that happened.
Well, not cardiac arrest is when you do that.
CPR,
clear-
give him
Clear.
CPR, right?
Oh.
Beep. Yeah, that shit.
Yeah,
I forgot what it's called too.
exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but yeah,
At least that's what I
man,
believe, but I might be wrong. But yeah.
Yeah, I went through that shit.
He had CPR. What they tried to give him CPR to resuscitate him.
Yeah, so he came back too.
He did.
Yeah, he came back too. He woke up in a coma though, and he was in a coma for like a week. Mind you, he had COVID too, and COVID kind of kicked his ass too, and he went to the hospital. Beat that. That was like last year, and then fucking this year, boom, this happened again. So he's definitely a fighter, man. He was a very strong dude. But yeah, he was in the hospital. He had a coma, I believe, for like a week. He came out of that, and he was kind of coming back to it slowly. His eyes was open and kind of pointing to things here and there, and kind of had a couple laughs with his daughter, from what I heard. man, and yeah, man, he was unable to beat the heart surgery. Supposedly, something like that. The heart surgery happened. Fucking liver came, just wasn't working anymore after the heart surgery, and yeah, it was just time to go, man. So very sad time for me and my family. Um, haven't cried like that for a while, man. That one touched me pretty badly, cause
Well, it's never easy when a family member passes.
yeah, I mean, but mind you, this dude was in my life longer than my father. So anytime I visit, he would automatic. I always link up with him, and just to check in with him and kick it with him. He always been running around, so I'm always like, checking up on him, chopping it up, and he automatically knew, like, every time I come through, he just reminisce about me, him and pops. You know what I'm saying? Growing up, and just he would just trade war stories with me, and like give me that every time I be there. I never asked for it, but he knew, like, that's something that he needed to do for me too, cause I lost my dad when he was pretty young too, so I never got to go become an adult with my dad. So I always cherish that with my uncle, that he did that for me, and he always know how to uh, I don't know, I guess
Set the
rock,
tone
yeah,
for being a role model or
yeah,
guide.
rock with me every time I get there. So yeah, man, R.I.P. to him, and
Yeah,
now
what is his name?
I call him Chukuk.
Yuko. Man,
Yeah,
here's cheers to you, man.
yeah. But yeah, man, it's the funeral's uh done now, and his family can grieve. You know, ain't got to worry about all this and that anymore. So, um, yeah, man, it's a time for grieving for his family and for us and shit like that. So, but yeah, man, it's life. It's a part of life, and it's a circle of life. As we get older, you know, the more people is gonna get older than us, and we just gotta learn to deal with with this process, man. So it is what it is.
It's always a reminder of how vulnerable the human body is and how we. Not saying that he lacked to take care of it, but we want to take care of our body as soon as the earlier we catch it, the better. Um, I mean, having a heart attack on when you're driving is, man, I couldn't even imagine that process.
Yeah, I mean his front end was like, yeah, it was pretty bad. It was pretty caved in. He hit a pole, so we seen the car. It was parked at the house. It was pretty bad. He lived to be 70, so it's pretty good life. You know what I'm saying? 70. It's pretty long, I would say. Um, my dad, unfortunately, was like 52, 53, so he had a good little stretch. Um, but yeah, man, I mean, it's definitely something you got to consider when you get older. You know what I'm saying? You got to get more in tune with what's going on inside your body. You know what I'm saying? You got to check it out, make sure everything's internally cool. Get them annual physicals done. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you had some shit too. I remember, right? You had to check out your do your physicals and shit too, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's always good to get checked up. I mean, I had a lot of blood work done, but we still couldn't catch what it was during that time. Um, no, I'm in the clear now, but during that time, I mean, when you're waiting and waiting and waiting and not knowing exactly what it is that's a possibility of cancer, I mean, it just scares you, right? I mean, the thing about what happened to me was that it was a wake up call to be able to just think about my health and what I could have done and should have done to try to avoid it. But I mean,
Yeah, people ain't gonna never like put their foot down and stand up to what they really got to do until shit hit the fan. In all honesty, I mean, you could be a parent and go that route. Like my mom, she, what I'm saying, she keep beating it in our head and reminding us of what we were doing wrong and what we need to be doing. But it didn't register until I was like late in my late 20s, probably. That, oh shit, my mom been telling me this whole time to be doing this and that. I'm like, oh yeah, this is why. You know what I'm saying? Like it registered, and then that's when I corrected myself. I'm like, yo, I got to do better. But you know, in my early 20s, I guess I was just too, you know, hamjoy, which is like, you know, I just want to hang out, party, and live it up, kind of like. So that just went in one ear and out the other, right? So I mean,
I mean, just as I mean, a society in general, we tend to only react rather than be proactive and try to, you know,
yeah,
I mean, I can't stress that enough because we lost so many loved ones through health issues too, and most of the time when we reflect, we reflect when we're sitting at the funeral during the service, and only look back at how human we all are, right? And it's just a reminder when we go to funerals to say to ourselves that we're not mortal. And the thing is, when I had that reality check of me possibly dying and stuff, right? I mean, man, every single thing that was in front of me changed. Certain things no longer became important. And what I put first was how I was going to lay and plant these seeds for my kids, you know? And, you know, I'm sorry, I got to switch the subject because I'm talking about. Let's switch the subject real quick. I wanted to talk about kids in general. I want to congratulate Carter again. He's got a kid on the way, and
right on.
I don't, I don't want to set the tone. It was kind of unexpected, but I'm sorry that I'm trying to switch the subject.
No, it's good. I mean, it is what it is. We
Yeah.
talk about what we talk about. I mean,
I didn't want to
ain't
talk
really
about
no
myself
structure. That's why we do what we do. Is just more like a kind of like go with the flow kind of thing. You know what
No,
I'm
we
saying?
got structure.
Some.
We got structure. It's just that sometimes we just don't follow through with it because we digress because the subject at hand is so interesting. We can't we forget what we're originally talking about.
But that's kind of cool too. I mean, we get to fully indulge and dive into those topics that we do run off into. I mean, which is cool. I mean, I don't mind it. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. You know, we should have our final point or thought about whatever we're talking about anyway. You know, just to get it fully out there. Because for one, I mean that's what we started. You know what I'm saying? We wanted you because you was figuring out your ADHD to kind of learn to just talk about shit and let it out the bag.
Yeah, learning about myself while speaking about it openly. I mean, I wasn't gonna talk to a therapist about it, but I wouldn't mind talking to my friend. And it's a lot easier with talking to your friend and forgetting that the camera is watching.
Yeah.
But I'm okay with that now.
Yeah, I mean, see, that's a beautiful thing because like most people, like I talk to myself, like they just don't know how to talk about it, man, and it's just. I'm lucky enough myself that I'm very social and I like to just talk to everybody, I guess, in a sense. So I'm more naturally outspoken in a sense, but just imagine those around you that a little bit more older, maybe a little bit more old school, keep things inside in a sense, and don't know how to like express their feelings about the shit that the daily bullshit that they're going through. You know what I'm saying? That eats them up. So yeah, I mean, yeah, it's a step forward for you, and hopefully somebody else out there. You know what I'm saying? So it's definitely a good thing for sure.
I believe it is a good thing. I think about the person that I was becoming at one point, right? And I remember cutting school and hanging out at my buddy's house, and my buddy's parents would hate us every single time we came over, right? And he's always like angry all the time, just angry, and just lashing out and yelling. And I was becoming that father of that child, and I didn't understand why until now. It's because sometimes we just are so frustrated about certain things, and it's out of our control, but we can't do nothing but to release that anger, but by being vocal about it sometimes, or even physical about it. Not saying abusive, but sometimes you get mad, you punch the wall. Sometimes you get mad, you you start yelling and screaming, doing whatever it might be.
Yeah, I mean that's it. Just comes with the territory. Like I mean, with me, I always feel like when somebody's acting out of the norm, out of character, in a sense, and it's just out of place. I always go back to how they were raised, right? So I always blame the parents. Like maybe the parents wasn't there enough to kind of show them or guide them and make them understand where to put certain uh,
So
feelings,
I'm
I
gonna
guess.
I'm gonna try to steer away from blaming parents, right? Because I almost feel like the parents in general do not want any harm on their children, or they just sometimes neglect. That's kind of a strong word, but not neglect, more so are dismissive of whatever's going on in their children's lives. Because one, sometimes the children don't share, and then two, you know parents are so busy at work, working 9 to 5 and putting food on the table, that they kind of leave it in the hands of the school or whatever it is to take care of their children. But that's the school's job, is to teach, not to be their guardian. And
No, like I get that. Let me just
yeah,
drop an example. Like my mom, she was working 9 to 9 every day, 9 in the morning, probably sometimes 10 at night too. So she wasn't fully involved with like trying to get me to where I need to learn these. Whenever I would get mad or something, instead of fighting or whatever it is, yelling, and just learn to put that into somewhere else to drain out that energy. In a sense, that would have been a better method. I felt like, instead of me trying to fight somebody or whatever the case may be, right? So yeah, mind you, my mom was. I love my mom to death for sure. She's a very strong, independent woman. I feel like she put us on her back. She was working 9 to 9 every damn day. She got like 3 surgeries on her shoulder because she just didn't have uh, that person to guide her and tell her like, yo, you're supposed to be stretching out
oh
your
yeah, the
body
the right
while you.
resources, and
Yeah, that's what I'm
whomever she was being
saying.
around. Yeah.
It just comes with growing up, and like it's okay that you're not aware of certain things, but do keep in mind like this is a certain way you should try to do it to be a little bit better at it. And with that said, it's just like you have to always be a student of every game, everything, life in general. Like we ain't perfect, you know what I'm saying? So you got to be constantly trying to learn to do better, strive to be better, right? So
Yeah, yeah. So parents out there, be attentive of your children, but don't micromanage and hover over them too as well. Give them that freedom, but not too much. How would you draw the line with borderline crossing as a parent versus somebody that's just trying to be protective of their children and not come off like they're helicopter parents. Helicopter parents, as in somebody that's always watching every single inch or muscle
yeah,
move
being
that they're doing.
sheltered for sure. Like I always felt like being too sheltered, you don't get to fully live up to your full potential because you've always been guarded from certain instances in life where you need that. You know what I'm saying? You need that pain or that that the encouragement to get out of there and dig deeper to find a better better light, I guess, or something. But I wouldn't try to shelter them. I definitely try to be on the same page and to a point where they're understanding why I'm trying to lead them down this path instead of that path. But I mean, it is beneficial for them to see on their own in a sense too. But I definitely would want to be the parent to try to guide them this way instead of
Yeah. So
that way. Right?
keyword he said guide, not like. I mean, it's always good to coach, right? Instead of trying to, what's the right word I'm looking for? Answer all the questions for them. That's the thing. We will get into a bad habit because we want our children to know better, right? We want them to know everything too. But teaching them all the right answers to everything won't really get them to explore and learn on their own. So instead of telling them the answers, just ask them a question back, like, what would you do in that situation? Let them explore, let them live. It's okay to for them to get things wrong, because that's how they learn. That's how we learn as people. we make mistakes and we learn from it. Because if we never make mistakes, then success won't feel as good. You don't know how it really truly feels to win, or that real good dopamine hit if we don't struggle to get there. It's that chase and that climb. We talked about that in the past, and yeah, let people live. Let your kids live. Not, well, I don't want to say not, but like let them live their life without you having to guide them step by step of the ways, because I explained enough said at first, but
Yeah, that
yeah.
makes sense. Like I said, I wouldn't want to be like sheltering them all the way. You got to let them kind of get out there and make some mistakes so they can come back from it. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah, I got stuck on that thought because my ADHD brain couldn't stop to think about your gender reveal.
my gender reveal.
Yeah, I was thinking about it the whole time. So remember to bring that up. You know what, guys? We're going to take a pause real quick and take a look at this video.
Both of us? But I'm
June
ugly.
7th. Gender reveal party.
Okay, ready? You want to look at it?
We can look at it.
Okay.
Boy or girl? Male.
Oh my
Carter
God.
Jr.
My poor baby.
Y chromosome is detected, therefore the predicted sex is male with greater than 99%.
Baby Carter.
Baby Carter.
You're so lucky. It's not a baby T.
Yes. I actually was like, the world deserves another Carter, not another T. So
Why?
the
Not
world
special?
has agreed with me. That was my prediction, actually.
That's a rude prediction. So you're saying you don't like me?
I love you.
Why don't you want another version of me?
I just think another version of me would be better.
Whatever.
But it could be another version of me with your personality. So best of both worlds, maybe. I don't know.
It's both of our DNA.